Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at all the prices for the pre-order products that we saw in yesterday's video. Yesterday was a pretty good pre-order for the Age of Sigmar, especially if you're into the Caradron Overlords, but also these Regiments of Renown box sets are now available, and some interesting prices, very different amongst the 6 sets. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the prices for the UK and the EU, which have been confirmed today, and then I'll also be estimating the prices for America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Japan. Right, let's get started. So here we've got the Caradron Overlords Battle Tome. There's going to be 2 different versions, but if you go for the normal standard version, this is going to be £32.50, 42.5 euros, in the US $55, Australia $84, New Zealand $99, Canada $65, and Japan 7,000 yen. If you want something a little bit more fancy, then you can get the special edition one, but that is limited to 500 copies. Usually these go up for about £55, but we'll have to wait and see on Saturday for the confirmed price. Next up, we've got the Code Right. This is going to be a single miniature at £22.50, 30 euros, $35 in the US, Australia 55, New Zealand 65, Canada 41.50, and Japan 4.7 yen. Before we jump on to the other products, I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters and everyone who's been joining the Patreon community. It's awesome to get your support, and we're working our way towards 100 members, which is our goal. Once we get there, I'll start doing narrative battle reports for Warcry, Kill Team, and 500 point Combat Patrol level 40k. To show you what these are going to look like, I'm going to be working on a battle report, just to give you a good example, later this week, so look out for that coming very soon, and then I'll also be making the mission available to all my Patreon members as well. One of the new perks was to name one of the models that will feature in these campaigns, so look out for your model and your name in that campaign coming real soon. On to the Caradron Overlords Vanguard box set. This is quite good. I really like the look of this one. 15 miniatures. I think it's a nice selection that they've put in there. So £85 in the UK and €110 confirmed. These are the same prices to ones we've seen for the likes of the Gloomspite Gits and some others. So this could be the price now that they're going to be fixed at. I'm not sure if they're going to put them up again in March with this price increase, but I think there's a good chance they could stay at this price. In the US, you're going to be paying $140, Australia $205, New Zealand $245, Canada $170, and Japan 19,000 yen. Then there's the wall scroll cards, which will also come with these tokens. In the UK, they'll be £22, in the EU €29, the US $35, Australia $55, New Zealand $65, Canada 41.50, and Japan 4.7 thousand yen. I still can't get my head around these dice, but in the UK, these 20 dice, which are pretty simple, very basic, they're going to cost you £25 altogether. The EU, €32.5, in the US, $42, Australia 65, New Zealand 80, Canada 50, and Japan 5.6 thousand yen. I'm a big fan of having custom dice for each army, having it matching I think is awesome, and I like having the logos when they look good, but for this price I just can't justify it to myself. I just think they're so overpriced for the quality. If they were good quality, it would be no problem to pay this, but they just aren't. It's such a shame. But anyway, you might like them, and if you do, now you know exactly how much they'll cost. Now we're on to these Regiments of Renown. Now these look really interesting. I liked the look of these when I saw them in yesterday's pre-order, and I think there's a lot of potential here if you like Age of Sigmar and you play Warcry as well. But I think for Warcry this could be something similar to the lines of these Start Collecting sets they brought out. Certainly not as packed with miniatures and not as much value, but it's a middle ground between a Warcry warband and perhaps getting a Vanguard set. This box is going to give you 21 miniatures, and the price is £65 in the UK, €85, US $110, Australia $170, New Zealand $200, Canada $130, and Japan 14.1 thousand yen. Now it's going to be interesting to see the different prices in these box sets, as you'll see when we work through it, but you know, 65 isn't cheap really for what you're getting here, but it is better value than buying them individually. So if you were looking to get some of these sets and models that are included, this is definitely the best way to do it at the moment. Here's another one of the regiments of renown, the Coven of Thrix for the Disciples of Tzeentch, and this is £47.50 in the UK, 62.5 euros. In the US, it'll be $75, Australia $115, New Zealand $135, Canada $90, and Japan 6.5 thousand yen. That's quite a difference between the two boxes already, a £17.50 difference. You've got 40 miniatures here, but these would be fewer sets, so you're not getting those main characters that are as expensive. You do get one character in there, but it's a little bit cheaper than the one included in the previous box. Just looking at the slide here, I believe I've got the Japan currency wrong there. I think it's going to be around the 8 to 8.5, maybe even up to 10,000 yen, but it's just not confirmed yet, so these are estimates. Next up is the Soulblight Gravelords box, and this is the Veermord's Shamblers. Now this is even cheaper at £42.50, 55 euros, 70 US dollars, Australia 105, New Zealand 125, Canada 85, and Japan 8.8 thousand yen. Now we're seeing a £22.50 difference between the cheapest box and the most expensive one. And again, if you wanted to get the models included here, this is going to be cheaper than buying them on their own. But you might be better off getting the Vanguard in some cases. So I think we'll have to have a closer look at these boxes throughout the week as we get more information. Next up, we've got the Slaves to Darkness Hargax's Pit Beasts, a perfect set for Warcry if you want to get some of these special monsters in there. And they're £65 in the UK, 85 euros, 110 US dollars, Australia 170, New Zealand 200, Canada 130, and Japan 14.1 thousand yen. I'm sure I remember when I started the hobby, these were £21 RRP. I'm sure they were around that price. So they've certainly gone up since I started just over 2 years ago. So a big increase. But again, this is going to be the cheapest way to get these three models. Buying them individually, they're certainly up there, what, £27.50 each? And I think, you are going to save by getting three like this, but it's probably not the best saving out of these box sets, but three awesome models all the same. Now we've got my favourite of all these box sets, the Regiments of Renown for the Sylvaneth, Elthwyn's Thorns. There's going to be only 6 miniatures in here, so fewer miniatures than the other boxes, but what's in there are 2 different box sets that I would really want to get. I've been wanting these since I started, especially Durante the Arch Revenant, and as soon as I saw the Gossamed Archers in a preview, I thought they were so good, and I would think they'd be great fun in Warcry. But now they're putting the 2 together, I think this is going to work out really nicely. If you were to buy them individually, the Gossamed Archers are £35 for the 5 models, and Durante £24 for the 1 model. So altogether that's going to be £59, but you can get them reduced here to £42.50, 55 euros, 70 US dollars, 105 Australian, 125 New Zealand, 85 in Canada, and 8.8 thousand yen. We'd definitely see the prices increasing, and they're going to go up again in March, as we found out not that long ago. And for me, I couldn't justify £35 to get those 5 Archer models. But now they're putting in Durante in there as well, and it's £42.50. I'm pretty tempted by this. So I think I'm going to go for it and actually get hold of these and maybe put something together for Warcry, because I really like playing Sylvaneth in Warcry. The old Sylvaneth Warcry box set was great fun. So I think with these included in there, it's got the making for a really good campaign warband that I think would be interesting to play. We're also about to start playing a Path to Glory campaign for Age of Sigmar at my local club, and I've picked the Stormcast Eternals. I really like the dragons, but now I'm going to look into these Regiments of Renown a bit more and see if I can actually include these in that Order army. That would be really fun and a great way to get all the models like in one army. So this could be a really fun reason to get hold of these box sets. And finally, we've got one for the Auric Warclans, Big Grix Cruel Shots. These are going to include 3 sets, and priced at £60 in the UK, 80 euros, US $100, Australia $160, New Zealand $190, Canada $120, and Japan 12.1 thousand yen. There's only 7 miniatures in this one. I believe it's 3 sets. 1 Beast Skewer Killbow, that's a single model, normally £21, and then 2 units of 3 Man Skewer Bolt Boys, which is going to come to £30 a unit. So all up, £81 if you were to buy these separately. So you're getting a 25% saving there. And again, on all these boxes, you could save up to 20% with your friendly local game store and online retailers. I'll put some links in my description down below where you can save some money. My friendly local game store posts across the UK, that's the Little Shop DVD and Games, and then I've got affiliate links to Element Games, Wayland Games and Firestorm Games, so you can find the best one for you and then also support the channel as I get a small commission from any sales made through those links. So if you'd like to check those out, that'd be awesome, and save some money while supporting me too, that'd be brilliant. So thanks so much if you do take a look. Right, we're not done yet. We've also got the Warhammer Underworlds Gnarlwood set, the new warband Grisel's Aranai, and these are going to be £26, 34 euros, 45 US, Australia 70, New Zealand 83, and Canada $55. Then in Japan, 5.9 thousand yen. Again, these aren't my favourite models, but I think they'd be nice for Warcry especially, to get some custom models in there amongst your warband. But for Underworlds, could be quite interesting to play depending on the rules. And if you want to try some different cards, there's a new rival deck in town too. This one is £17, 22 euros, 27 US dollars, 40 Australian, 50 New Zealand, Canada 32, and 2.4 thousand yen in Japan. I think some of these prices outside of the UK and EU could change a bit. That Japan one doesn't look quite right. It's very strange how they price different things up for the different values in the different countries, but this should give you a ballpark figure to work from. Then we've got 3 paperback books which are going to be £8.99, 12 euros, 15 US dollars, Australia 20, New Zealand 26, Canada 18, and Japan 1.84 thousand yen. There we go, a great week for Age of Sigmar, and hopefully this has given you a good idea about what to expect from the prices now. It certainly puts things into perspective just how good those start collecting sets are, if you can still get hold of them. You know, they're starting from what, around £50 up to 65, 52.50 here you can see for the Stormcast, and if you can get those still with a 20% discount, they're still the best value by far, but they are phasing those out in place of the Vanguards. But it's nice to have these new Renown boxes as something that kind of fills the gap. But as I said earlier, I think it's a really good idea for Warcry and Age of Sigmar, and if you play both games, there's got to be something here that you like. I'd love to hear what you think about the prices, and let me know which box set you'll be picking up in the comments down below. For now though, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you've been enjoying the videos recently, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.